So the question has been asked, can Brent Venables lead Oklahoma to a national championship? Well, there's a metric that really does show a good, idea of what you need to get there. It's about your blue chip rankings and how many blue chip players you have on your roster. And typically those in the upper echelon, they're the ones that are the true contenders for the national championship. Now, of course, when Venables took the job, a lot of people doubted that he was going to be able to even keep Oklahoma in relevance, right? They weren't going to be relevant anymore. Going into the SEC, they're not going to have the players. They're not going to get the recruits. I see so many people talk noise about recruiting rankings, even though Venables has kept the top 10 ranking for all of his classes since he's been here. But I digress. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about the one thing folks did not believe Oklahoma was going to be able to do with Brent Venables, which is get a bunch of good players. Let's look at it. CBS Sports dropped an article and a breakdown of the 16 contenders for the national championship this year based upon blue chip ratio. And yeah, we're going to look at that. And we're also going to look at how Oklahoma has done over the years since Bob Stoops' retirement all the way to Brent Venables. Before we do that, welcome to Unfair Sports. I'm your host, Jay. Thank y'all for pulling up to the channel. All right. Y'all ready to look at this? I'm going to go ahead. We ain't going to bury the lead too long. Gave you the intro. We're going to show you the list. Let me explain what this list means. Shout out to the kind folks over there at 247 for providing a beautiful graphic to go with this. But this right here, ladies and gentlemen, this is the blue chip ratio for 2024 season here in college football. And this kind of gives you 16 teams that basically can be considered contenders going in. And this is what you got. Start from the top. Ohio State's at a 90% ratio, right? Now it's all about coaching at this point. They ain't got no excuse. But then Alabama's at 88, Georgia 80, A&M at 79. We all wonder what the heck Jimbo Fisher was doing there. But then you got Oregon at 76, Oklahoma at 73 with Texas behind them at 72, LSU at 70. That's your top 8. Next 8 is Notre Dame, Clemson, Florida, the U, which is why Miami is getting so much, they're getting so much pub right now. Everybody's propping them up. Penn State, USC, Michigan, and Auburn. Now, as you saw that list there, right? You're like, okay, that's crazy that you believe that's what that takes, right? How many blue chips do you have on your roster? And the ratio of that is 5 and 4 stars compared to everything below that. And Oklahoma has a 73%, which is above Texas, which is kind of crazy, right? We've got more blue chips than them. But it shows you that those blue chips are really what gets you over the hump to get to the championship contender piece. And that was the thing that a lot of people was thinking. I mean, you see the jokes on social media, calling OU 3-star U, etc., so on and so forth. Heck, we'll have about 3 or 4 in the comments here, right? But Oklahoma has shown that they can still recruit at a very high level without any problems. Like, the proof is in the pudding, folks. Like a 73%. And so shout out to one of our great social media heads out here. We got Like Woody. I'm going to go ahead and show him some love. It's at Peyton Glenn. Go show him some love. Go ahead and give him a follow on social media. He posted this right after the Mainline podcast showed that picture of OU there. This is what our blue chip ratio was every year up until Venables got there. And it was up and down. 2015 was 38%, 2016, 36%, 2017, 45%. That's when you start to see the resurgence of everything. 53% in 18, 60% in 19, 63% in 20, 21, 66%. Brent Venables takes over, goes to 71 in 22. Last year was 70. It dropped a percentage because that's when you saw a lot of influx of players coming and going. But now we're all the way at our highest at 73%. Folks, talk to me about this. You see the improvement. You see that we're getting the better players. We're getting the players that fit perfectly for what Brent Venables is trying to do. Like, I know that a lot of people are wondering, like, okay, how does that work? It's about recruiting. It's about recruiting the players that's going to make the most impact. So Lincoln Riley's last class, 66%, last team, to 73 now. It's a pretty solid jump. And in the article, Bud Elliott breaks down what it looks like for a lot of teams and kind of some of the changes, like how like Michigan won a national championship at 54%. You know, it's not a exact, but it's those in that realm. Top 16 is why it's there. It's top 16 teams that can contend. And if you look at the 16 here, 53 is the lowest, which is Auburn. Michigan was above that. That's why they contended and was able to win it. But they also had a bunch of older, you know, super seniors and seasoned veterans. But Georgia in 22 was at 77%. 21, they were 80%. Bama was 83% in 2020. In 2019, LSU won it at 64, right? All four of the college football playoff teams were blue chip ratio teams. Every single one of them in every single year, except for 2021 when Cincinnati made it. They were the first party crasher since 2017 based upon this article, which I got the article in the description below for y'all to check out. But ain't that crazy that Brent Venables has gone in here, got these recruiting classes going and winning football games? All I know is I've been told so many times in my comments, people talk about like the extension that Brent Venables got and why I explained why it made sense to do it. If you got the guy you think you got, you go ahead and do it. That's why. Brent Venables is putting this team in the perfect trajectory to maintain consistent national contention, even in the SEC. Now all they got to do is continue to be not only coach well, but perform well as well. So now you see those numbers. Now you see those metrics, because we can even go deeper. We talked SP Plus a couple weeks back on the channel and kind of the analytics around the efficiencies and the advanced metrics and how Oklahoma sits very well there, especially bringing back the number 3 team rank in returning production at 83%. Like we're bringing back a Brent Venables defense. So yeah, there's concerns around the offense, but I'll tell you this. I think the defense is going to do for this team similar to what Georgia did when they won their first national championship. Now, I'm not saying Oklahoma's going to win the national championship, but I am saying Oklahoma will be a national championship contender, and I think that the defense is going to carry the team just like for Georgia they did that first title. We saw Georgia really show out offensively in the playoffs, because at that point, you kind of need to show off. But they didn't even have a league quarterback play all season long. Their defense did all the work. I anticipate that same thing for Oklahoma next season. So, y'all know what it is. Hop in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Am I off base? Think your boy's crazy? Love to hear from you all. Jump in those comments. If you've made this far and you like the content, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Would love for y'all to join this family of Sooner fans, talking OU football, SEC football, and college football in general. Having a blast doing it. All right. We'll have a video a little bit later today. Keep your eyes open. Also, thank y'all for supporting me for as long as y'all have. The announcement was made on a couple videos. I'm going to do this at the end of every video for the rest of the month. Your boy has joined the Locked On Sooners podcast as a co-host in the Locked On Network. So I'll be doing those daily videos. Make sure you check myself and John out every single day. We appreciate y'all supporting us. And don't worry, this channel's still going to be here. I'm going to be doing more in-depth analysis like this on a regular basis. And we'll still have the lives. We'll still talk on a regular basis. So besides that, I'm out. We'll talk soon. Peace.